Should panhandling be treated as a crime or not? Absolutely not. The way in which one panhandles should be structured differently, but not prohibited or considered a criminal offense. Panhandling should be done in a safer manner, not at busy intersections that increases risk for accidents. Laws should be set for a place and time where panhandling is permitted and list the do's and don'ts. Is it annoying seeing men and women with cardboard signs obstructing one's view? For most, yes. But do you know what's more annoying? Being told to move it along when all you're trying to do is survive. The other day I seen a man who appeared to be homeless at the corner of Evangeline Thruway and Willow Street. A police officer parked on the median and was scurrying the man along. Granted, he was standing in front of a sign that says panhandling is not safe. But the officer's body language seemed ungraceful and rudely intimidating. Can persecuting a panhandler be an act of discrimination? When a representative from the Salvation Army is ringing a bell in front of Walmart asking for donations, how many give instead of complaining and labeling them as bums and telling them to get a job? What about football players, basketball players, cheerleaders flashing design posters on the same corner that says panhandling is not safe? Is this not similar to panhandling? But because they are dressed and groomed more nicely and support a cause, it's okay? They all have a common goal, but for different reasons. What do the homeless man, Salvation Army, Girl Scouts, and cheerleaders have in common? They're hands out asking for donations. The difference is the homeless man is begging for survival and personal gain. These other entities are begging, yes, begging, for non-profits and school purposes. So I'll ask again, is the homeless man or woman being discriminated against? Is one more drawn to donate to teenagers with nice signs in lieu of a homeless person with a cardboard sign and ugly handwriting? Does appearance play a vital role in determining if you're worth donating to? Pathos, which appears to one's emotions or empathy, contributes a great deal to this matter. It determines how one sympathizes with you. Is the law more sympathetic towards school-age children than to someone who owns no assets? According to Ronald Davis, yes. He stated people called him a bum and told him to get a job while he was shaking his cup begging for donations for shelter during the winter months. When he did seek employment, he felt the intense stares and unwelcoming demeanor. They told him to leave a phone number when he did not even own a phone. What is the other alternative? Stealing? Robbing? Killing? Although not everyone donates to the cheerleaders and sports teams, they won't scold them for begging on a street corner. Panhandlers deserve the same respect. Instead of taking what they need illegally, they are simply just asking, which is a job within itself and even degrading for a U.S. citizen. What would it profit to arrest someone who already has a hard life? Arresting someone because of their crisis is the true crime. This would only lead to more overcrowding in jail and more work for police officers. If given a citation, will one be able to pay? If they cannot afford a meal, how can they afford to pay a ticket? And if the ticket isn't paid, it becomes a warrant. Even if the police want to issue a ticket, how can a panhandler be identified? Most panhandlers don't own an ID or driver's license. The only benefit of arresting a panhandler is guaranteed shelter, food, shower, and bed at someone else's expense. Why should one have to be jailed to be provided the basic necessities in life? In conclusion, if an organization wants to beg, no one criticizes and feels good to contribute to something meaningful. But with someone who looks less than, ask for a simple dollar or two, most people will shout, "Get a job, you bum." Same tactic, different reasoning. The 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor denies to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the citizens of the United States. I'll read that clause again. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the United States. In short, the state shall not limit rights relative to those of other citizens. But it appears that is exactly what's happening when comparing panhandlers to nonprofit organizations. Would the law be depriving a person of life if panhandling becomes a criminal offense? If this is their only means of survival, then yes. From elementary school, we learned that humans need food, water, and clothing. But in addition to that, from a psychological standpoint, we need love and to feel wanted. My belief is that it can be them today and me tomorrow. We are all one incident away from losing our jobs, becoming eternally ill, having a government shutdown, or becoming solely dependent upon the government or panhandling to make ends meet. No, panhandling should not be illegal, but the laws and the way one receives should be defined in such a manner that is safe for the giver and the receiver. Thanks for listening.